Coming up today on Quays. The cast of thousands and the world's biggest ever Minecraft zone comes to Manchester.
The latest hopefuls are here in Media City. The Voice is back.
And we find out about the hip-hop sign stop.
Hello and welcome to Quays News.
We have a lot coming up on today's show, so stick around.
With the Manchester Science Festival coming up this week, we have Dr. Chloe James and Professor Andy Meyer in the studio. Guys, thanks for joining us today. It's great to have you. So the Science Festival started tomorrow, and what have you guys got coming up?
Well, Salford University, as the educational sponsor, has activity happening on every single day. But our big weekend is this weekend over at Media City, where we'll have things like an eSport showcase, we'll have virtual reality for people to try, we'll have people like Chloe doing stuff with biology.
Yeah, so we're running an activity called Bioselfies. It's about connecting with people about the bacteria that live on their skin and in their mouths. People will have a chance to look down the microscope and see the bacteria that lives between their teeth, and will be using their own bacteria as live paint to draw artwork that will grow
interesting.
In the lab.
Oh, right. And so you said Media City, where it's going to be taking place. Is it going to be taking place in anywhere else in Manchester?
So all over Manchester,
All over.
really. So we've got events taking place at the Museum of Science and Industry. Another thing happening this weekend is on robotics.
Oh, right.
The following weekend, the closing weekend of the festival, we've got stuff on dementia and brains and things like that. So it's happening all over the city, really. It's an amazing, huge festival.
Oh, brilliant. And how did this festival start, and how long has it been going on for?
Well, it's really 10 years now. It's been going for 10 years. We've been involved with it for every iteration over the years, but we've been the main sponsor for 5 years now, and that's become a huge programme of work for us each year, really, hasn't it? You've been involved for 3 years or 4 years?
Yeah, 3 years now.
So, yeah, it's a huge undertaking for us all.
Oh, right. Well, I hope the event goes incredibly well for you this weekend, especially for your 10th anniversary. I hope it goes really good. Well, thanks for chatting for us, guys. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it will be great.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. The Play Expo was on at Event City this weekend. Our reporter, Cameron Gordon, went along to see what it was all about.
Since Pong's debut in 1972, video games have been a growing medium. From coin-op arcade machines to home consoles, video games have taken the world by storm.
The crowd behind me is just some of the thousands of people expected to walk through the doors of Event City this weekend for Play Expo, the biggest gaming convention in the Northwest.
The two-day event features all sorts of games, including classics and board games. The event is popular with exhibitors too, as local talents are able to advertise their games to a far wider audience than they typically would.
Our studio's Onion Soup.
That's right.
This is the founder, Andy. Yeah. And I help out with QA and publicise everything like that. My name's John, and it's been about 6 months we've been working on it. It's kind of the early build, isn't it?
That's right. So we've been working on Nippon Marathon, which is our 4-player kind of Japanese game show inspired party game. But the expo's fantastic. I didn't expect it to be this big, and like everyone's got their favourite thing. I love the arcade. We entered into a bit of a raffle to get the space, and we got that. So we haven't paid anything for it. That's been granted to us from the organisers. It's an amazing opportunity for us. You know, I couldn't be happier.
One of the main attractions for a lot of the people attending the event is an opportunity for them to dress up as characters from some of their favourite video games.
My name is Molly Rayner. I'm cosplaying as Toriel from a game called Undertale, which is more known on PC but is now on PS4.
I'm cosplaying as a Blaziken, as you can see. And
cosplaying as Spartan from Halo 3.
With their popularity, gamers have often longed for a way to meet and enjoy the games they're playing now, and the ones they will enjoy in the future. Cameron Gordon, Event City, for Quays News.
Residents are leaving Chimney Pot Park after a rise in vandalism. Residents at the estate in Longworthy, Salford, are leaving due to the windows being smashed. Police have increased patrols in the area, whilst Urban Bubble, a property management firm, have brought in security to help out as well. The estate was part of an £88 million regeneration project in the area.
The Voice has been filming the first round of blind auditions this week in the Dock 10 studios in Media City. The show's coaches, Jennifer Hudson, Ollie Mears, will.i.am and Sir Tom Jones attended the red carpet event last night, along with the show's host, Emma Willis, and the show is due to air earlier next year.
The Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce are becoming increasingly concerned about the rights of EU workers in the city. Workers are going on holiday and not returning to work with fears that they won't have a job when Brexit comes into force.
Specific to Greater Manchester, we've got large manufacturing base, large construction base, sectors where a massive amount of the workforce is made up by EU workers, and yeah, they're worried about it. We've got stories of workforces going away for holiday and people not coming back because basically they're worried about what their future here is going to look like. Basically, workers just dropping off the radar because they're going back home and have decided not to return. It's definitely a big concern.
Ping's here with the sport, and the Champion League continues, I hear.
It does, Dan. Yeah, lots has been happening in sport this week. So Manchester United are in Lisbon trying to make it 3 wins from 3. They top Group A, but the away match in Benfica is surely the toughest tie, and it has history. The two met at Wembley in 1968 as United became the first English team to win this competition, and again in 2005 when they went out in Lisbon. So, how confident are supporters about tonight? Grace Maley went to find out.
I think it's going to be a tough game, but I still think we will snatch it. Obviously, United have a great start to the season, so probably, I will say 2-1 United. 2-1 United, yeah.
You're not going to win 7-0 like Liverpool did last night then?
That's a tough score to beat that. Obviously, it was a record win for Liverpool, so but I wouldn't say no to 8-0, would I?
You're missing some key players. Do you still think you can win?
Yeah, I think so. I think the team is strong enough. We have enough depth to keep up with it. So yeah, I think we'll win.
And no issues for Manchester City either. They beat Napoli 2-1. Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus securing them the win. To the other side of Old Trafford now, and more promising times for Lancashire Cricket Club. Graham Onions is the latest signing, the second player to arrive from Durham after the sometime England opener Keaton Jennings earlier in the month. Onions has 9 test caps for England and recently became Durham's leading all-time wicket taker. He gave me his thoughts on moving west.
Quite special and quite proud actually. I've been here quite a few times, but obviously not as a Lancashire player, and just to get my journey started really, just to obviously come through the gates and just to be part of this club with amazing history, and I'm determined to give it my all and to try and win trophies really. It's going to be pretty special when I get the red rose on and be part of a very young but enthusiastic squad. Just looking out, from the media centre there onto the pitch and stuff. It's going to be nice to hopefully put in some matchman performances for this amazing club.
So Onions seems to have moved away from the North East just at the wrong time if he's a rugby league fan. St James's Park will again host the next Super League Magic weekend. Salford will play Catalan Dragons.
Thanks, Bean. And finally, more people are finding it the confidence to come out as gay at university. Our reporter Joe Wilmot has more.
How do you think about love?
Coming out is known as one of the hardest conversations anyone will ever have to have, and many students use university as their time to be who they want to be. YouTuber and Salford student Oliver Potter came out to his 5-year-old brother in a video uploaded to his YouTube channel, which became a viral sensation, now surpassing over 4.2 million views. I sat down with him to get some advice for our students.
So first of all, just tell us about what gave you the idea for the video in the first place.
Okay, so my family already kind of knew that, or I've told them that they knew I was gay and I was very out there. And the only person that didn't know was my little brother. I mean, he's 5, like, do you tell a 5-year-old? That constantly played in my head for a little while. And I thought, well, he is kind of like my best friend, so I feel like it's really bad that I haven't told him.
I think one of the things that captured the hearts of many of your viewers, and many of the people around the world, in fact, was his very cute reaction.
Yeah.
We're actually going to show it to you now. Take a look at this.
So, how would it make you feel if I married a man?
If you marry a man, it's going to be so cool. There's no room for hate.
How important do you think National Coming Out Day is to not just regular people but students as well?
I think it's very important because when you're a student, most students are discovering their being an individual for the first time, and why would you want to be an individual hiding behind a mask? You want to be an individual to be yourself and portray what your future's going to hold. And so once you've come across that barrier, then you just kind of forget about it and you think, oh my God, why didn't I do this before?
What advice would you have for people that are thinking of coming out?
I think it's knowing when you're ready. I mean, people will say, oh, when do you think you know when you're ready? But you will feel it. You will feel when you're ready. Like, I use an example of you feel like a glass of water is filling up so much that it's overflowing, and that's when it's time to you can't control it anymore, and it just has to be released.
Love is love, love is love.
Oliver hopes his advice will help others in similar situations, starting with those on campus. Joe Wilmot, Quays News, Manchester.
And now to Julia for the weather. Let's hope Storm Ophelia has gone for good.
It's starting to get a lot colder across the northwest. Today we've reached highs of 13 degrees, but it feels about 10. We have been lucky because it's not rained yet, but it is forecast this evening. Tomorrow's a similar story, reaching highs of 14, but rain is forecast all afternoon. Friday is clear, so if you're headed into Manchester to the Oktoberfest, then that's the best day to do it. Saturday and Sunday are a bit of a washout, unless of course you sampled one too many beers.
That's all for us on this week's Quays News.
Keep up to date with all our latest news on Facebook and Twitter at Quays News and on our website at quaysnews.net.
Stay tuned for our film review show. We'll talk up next with Jamal and Damien.
Quays News will be back here next week, but for now, thanks for watching and goodbye.
Goodbye.